Hi, it's Trisha again from Whispering Pines Micro Farm. Today I want to do a video on an introduction to Lionheads and a basic Lionheads 101. This little girl is Cosette, Couture's Cosette. She's from Couture Lionheads in New Hampshire. She's a little show doe that I picked up last fall. And she's been on the table a couple of times, did very, very well, and we'll get her back going when the season starts up again, and actually in just a few weeks. So we're very excited about that. She is a very good quality. I expect her to do pretty well on the table, and we'll get her up in a pose here. She hasn't been handled for a while. She's taken it easy over the last couple of months. There we go, mamas. So what I want to do today is actually show a lot of different quality types of Lionheads. I have pet quality, there's a teddy, which is too much wool, brood quality, and all the way up to show quality. And I even have some babies that we can show today. And just to go over a basic overview of Lionheads, there seems to be still a lot of confusion. They are a fairly new breed. They were brought into the United States back in 2000, and it took several years to get the quality that we actually have today. What was brought from over from England is nothing compared to what we actually have today, which is attributed to the dedication of the breeders who decided to take on that challenge, and it definitely has been a challenge. And the American Rabbit Breeders Association, known as ARBA, recognized the breed as an official breed just in 2014. And the two varieties or colors that were recognized are Roux, which you're seeing here is the red-eyed white. That's what little Cosette is here, and also Tort. I have a blue Tort brood doe. I don't personally do a lot of Tort. I prefer the Roux, and I am also working on agouti colors as another variety that has not been acknowledged yet, but hopefully in a few years it will be. So we have to have some really good quality animals to present in order to get that acknowledgement and to get them approved by ARBA. So I'm going to put her back, and I'm going to start out, we're going to start out just from the beginning with some babies and work our way up through all the different kinds of quality that we can have and why they are slotted into those quality. The qualities are pet quality, brood quality, and show quality. And a lot of people get confused as to why they're labeled as such. There's a lot of pictures on social media of people saying, I want to breed this rabbit to this rabbit, and they're both pet quality rabbits, and which makes a fancier cringe when you are working very hard to create show quality rabbits or breeding to the standard, to see pet quality being bred just for more pet quality, because even when you breed to the standard, you still wind up with babies that aren't even in the same litter, that aren't quite up to par, as I'll show you later, and that could be petted out. So there's still plenty of pets without purposely breeding them. Just like any other animal, it is frowned upon by those who have put so much work and dedication into trying to perfect the breed and be ambassadors for the breed. So I'm going to get some babies out, and we'll start with that, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here are 4 baby Lionheads. I just popped them out of the nest. I'm out here in the barn, and they are double mane, and the reason you can tell they're double mane is because you can clearly see the V coming down the back, but you can also see it's already darkening in. These guys are between 4 and 5 days old, so the fur comes in pretty quickly, but you can clearly see that there is a lack of hair on either side, and that is how you determine that the babies are double maned Lionheads. I don't have any single manes in my barn. Most show breeders don't, because it's not the desire that we want. But as you can see, there's a clear indication of that V, and no wool or hair coming inside. That's where the wool will come in, the flank wool, and also around the neck. You can see these guys are already darkening up. This is the only time you can tell if Lionheads are double maned or single maned, is because of of the bald spots. And once that hair comes in, you can no longer tell. The only way you're going to know is if you have a pedigree from a reputable breeder who has done their due diligence in record keeping, and has marked on there that they're double maned or single maned in the history of the pedigree. The only way you can get double maned babies is to breed two double maned Lionheads together. So both the sire and the dam have to be double maned in order to get double maned. Otherwise, you get a mixed batch of whatever. I'm going to get these guys back in so that they can get nice and warm. I'm not sure what colors I have here. This is an agouti litter. I'm hoping for chestnuts. It'll take a few more days to see exactly what I have here, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we have two babies. This is the next age up that I have. Unfortunately, these guys are about 7 weeks old, and I wish I had some that were 3 weeks old, but I will. I'll have to redo that next time. I have a couple litters, so maybe we'll do another video down the road in a few weeks. But these two are litter mates. This is a little black buck, and this is a little chestnut doe. And both of these would be considered show potential. They're very easily set up into their little poses. They can hold them easily. They have very clean little ears. Their saddles are starting to shed. The black's harder. Blacks and roos are harder to see, but he is starting to shed out. She is easier to see because of the color differentiation. She's a chestnut, and their little faces are going to start to shed out. You can see the definition of hers already. You can see the shape there, hopefully. It's not easy to do this with one person. They have very clean ears, which I'm very, very happy about. This little buck has a nice wide face. They both have nice wide faces, but he in particular, I'm loving their little wide faces. So this is what we would consider show potential. There's really no way, in my opinion, to say show quality until you've actually, got them on the table and they actually do well. Then you can say you have a show quality rabbit. And even though if you breed to the standard, which we're trying to do here, they're not all going to be competitive either. So I'll also show you the difference between show quality and competitive, because you can still have show quality bunnies that aren't as competitive as you would like them to be. So these two little guys are doing great. They're staying right here. We're going to grow them out. We're going to get them on the table. And even though they're the wrong colors for recognized variety, there are some shows that will allow you to show colors. That's called all other varieties, AOV. In ARBA shows, which is what we do, we don't do the fair shows, so I'm not sure what the rules are for fair shows. If you contact the show secretary ahead of time and ask, a lot of times they will allow you to show other varieties other than Roux and Tour. And the reason is that you want to do that is if you're working on these varieties like the black and the chestnut, you need the judge's opinion to see if you're going in the right direction, and you want to see where they stand up to other breeders and other rabbits to make sure that you're making good choices and your rabbits are like I said, competing with the other breeders, so that you're going in the right direction. So I'm going to put these two back, and I'm actually going to grab their litter mate in so you can see a big difference between them. Actually, I'll leave the little girl out so you can see the difference. Okay, so I grabbed the litter mate out. This little girl is a black chinchilla, and she would be considered pet quality if I were to be very, very honest. She doesn't have what her brother and sister have as far as being able to sit up in a nice high proud pose. Her body structure is a little bit different. As you can see them side by side. Well, I tried. She's actually sitting up in a pose better than she was last week, but she still doesn't have quite what it takes for me. Where I'm at with my program, she doesn't work for me. I am going to keep her as a brood because I am working on the agouti colors, and which are hard to come by. So I have to work with what I have and continue to improve on it. I hope she proves me wrong. She's actually developing a little better. Every time I get her out, she looks a little bit better. So she is going to stick around. She's sitting in her pose a lot easier now than she was before, last couple weeks. Her brother and sister, though, have just from the very beginning, since 3 weeks old, been able to sit up in that nice little pose. She has a little more difficulty. So if I wasn't working on this variety, I would definitely pet her out. she's super cute. She'd make a great little pet, but that's how we determine the difference. She's got a little bit of a dip in her back here that I don't like, that these guys don't have. And that's just this, you know, structure, same litter, but just a different bunny. So you can still get pet quality in the same litter as a show quality. So there's no need to just be breeding specifically for pets. There's still plenty of pets to go around. So I'm gonna grab another one out who's a little bit older, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here this little guy is going on, he's 11 weeks old. He's almost, I think he's heading for 12 weeks old. And here we have an example of a really good quality rabbit who may be show quality but may not be competitive. We just have so much great quality now that you have to have a really superior rabbit to win on the table. He is a cutie, and I definitely look forward to showing him and getting the judges. You see his ear, I messed up on his tattoo. That's totally my fault. So I'm a little aggravated with myself with that, but we'll get that situated when he gets a little bit bigger. I probably should have waited until he was a little bit older. Let's see if I can get him posed up for you. So he was a surprise. I mentioned in other video, out of a litter, that the rest of them, actually one black did go to a show breeder, youth breeder, and the rest of them were all petted out. And he was also supposed to be petted out, but he caught my eye in some pictures. So we're going to hang on to him and see how he actually finishes, and we'll go from there. He is cute, but again, if I was, you know, being really, really strict and tough, I would say probably show quality, but maybe not as competitive as I want to be. Which means he might work well in a breeding program to create more show babies. Only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. So those are some babies, and I'm going to now go get a couple pet quality that are older, so we can see what they look like, and what the reasons that they're being called pet quality. Okay, so here's an example of a bunny. She is actually almost a year old. She's 10 months old, and she is clearly not a good quality rabbit. She is a pet quality. The only reason I got her and her litter mate sister as babies is because I wanted to start a BEW program, a blue-eyed white program, which has a COD, which is a certificate of development, meaning that there are one or two breeders, in this case one, Deb Bergs, has put in all the finances and the paperwork and the time to get the variety, which is blue-eyed white, acknowledged by first the national club, the Lionhead club, and then ARBA. So anyway, and I love the BEWs. I love the blue-eyed whites, and so I wanted to start a program, but we didn't have very many choices a year ago. So I wound up with this little girl. I didn't breed her. I'm going to pet her out. She's going to be offered up as a pet, and I really kept her too long, just hoping. But you can see she's very woolly. She's actually probably considered a teddy. I mean, I can comb this. She's never going to shed out. Her ears are too long. They're very woolly. You know, she's a beautiful, beautiful bunny. She looks like I call them a princess bunnies, the blue-eyed whites. Looks like something like a Princess Barbie would have or something. But anyway, she's a beautiful little girl, but she is definitely pet quality. She's not show quality at all. So she's going to be petted out, and this is an example of a pet quality rabbit. She's very long in the back. There's all kinds of structural things going on here as well, that I wouldn't even use her in a breeding program. It would just set me back. She's very big, in my opinion. She's just too big. But she's beautiful. She's definitely a beautiful little bunny, and she'll make someone a really cute pet. But that's exactly what she is. She's definitely a pet bunny. Okay, so this little mop is a Lionhead, believe it or not. Why is she in my barn? Good question. It's because I'm a softie. She came to me with a chestnut litter mate, who actually just got too big and didn't have the markings the way I wanted them. So I petted her out, and I kept her. She was so tiny, and I thought she was fading away. When I got him, she was just skin and bones underneath all this wool for quite a while, and this was last winter actually, so she's a year old now, and she as you can see, did not shed out. She definitely has a double mane, double wool gene. You should not breed this bunny at all. She's definitely a pet. The only reason I haven't petted her out yet is because I'm concerned that she's a little bit maintenance wise. I have to keep her brushed out. She's good now. She's very healthy. She's, you know, she's fat under here, under all this. She's very firm. You can't feel any bones or anything. And she's super, super cute. She's so sweet. She's got such a cute personality. But as you can see, she is just all wool. And it's not the same wool as like an Angora. As you can see, the hay sticks in it, so I have to maintenance. She's a little bit more maintenance than I would want, and that's why I'm afraid to pet her out. So she just hangs out here, and I get her out, and she's good grooming therapy, that's for sure. The good thing about Lionheads is that they don't require a lot of maintenance, actually. The hay gets stuck in them in the winter because I give lots of hay to help keep warm. But this little mama, hopefully I'll find her a good pet home at some point. But that's my fear, is that she just won't be taken care of because she does mat up easy in here, and I have to keep her brushed out. So anyway, that's why she's still here. But she's a very, very good example of poor breeding. I will say that. She has cute little ears, and underneath here she's got a really cute little compact body, and I wish, believe me, I wish she didn't have that double wool gene, because I'd be using her as a brood if nothing else. I think she'd give me some amazing babies, but it is what it is. So this is a very good example of what a teddy looks like, and that's what it's called. Too much wool genes going on here, breeding two probably poor quality rabbits together. And this is what we got. So she came to me like in a trade. I do a lot of transporting, and somebody wanted a rabbit transported, and they're like, I have these two Lionhead babies, and one of them happened to be chestnut. That's the only reason they wound up in my barn, is because of me gathering up a goody colored Lionheads and then seeing what I could work with. So I'm gonna put her back. She is so stinking cute, but again, just very, very poor quality Lionhead. But it is an example of teddy. That's what it's called, and it has to do with the two wool genes coming together and getting this little mop here. So I'm going to put her back. Okay, so I have here, this is Black Diamond. She's a little brood doe. She just had babies not too long ago. In fact, the babies that you just saw, the chestnut baby and the black buck, actually come from her. Hello, everyone. So she's super cute. She actually, for having babies 11 weeks ago, about 11 weeks ago or so, or 7 weeks ago, she's still got a lot of mane, because they usually pull most of it out. But she had a lot to begin with. She's a very cute little doe. She's definitely, you know, she's not a show doe. She's black, first of all, so it would be AOV. She's super cute. Her ears have a little bit more wool on them than I want. I like super clean ears, but they're nice and small ears. Her face is definitely wide enough for me. It's a little, you know, narrow compared to some others, but not bad at all. She's made me some beautiful babies, as I showed you. One of the things when you're dealing with brood quality animals is that you want to make sure that they're coming from excellent bloodlines, and in the hopes that they will outproduce themselves, which she has proven to me that she is doing. Bred to the right buck, she's doing a great job. I don't get my broodos out a lot and mess with them to be posing up. So she's not going to want to sit up in a pose. I haven't really worked with her. I just got her last fall too, at the grand finals in New York. I brought her home with the sole purpose of utilizing her in my breeding program here. But she actually looks really good. She's super cute. She's super sweet. She's got a wonderful temperament. She's a wonderful mother, which of course you want that in a brood doe. You don't want mamas who can't take care of their babies, or don't want to take care of their babies, or are super fussy. She is great. She's absolutely been great. So I'm hoping to get another litter out of her. She was bred actually today to a show buck, a roo show buck. So I'm hoping that we get some beautiful, beautiful babies out of her in about a month. And I'm going to grab another one for you that has a little less mane, so you can see what happens when they really pull out a lot of mane for the nest. Okay, so this is little Miss Dory. She is a blue tort variety or color, and she's the only tort I have in my barn. I don't really care for the torts, but if I have to have a tort, I would prefer a blue tort. She, as you can see, doesn't have much going on for mane, and that's because she has pulled it out to make nests for her previous litters, and she has not grown it back in yet. And I don't know if she would at this point. She is a couple years old now, and as they get older, they tend to lose their mane as they get to be old men and old ladies. So she is coming to the end of her breeding career. I would like to get maybe 1 or 2 more litters out of her, because she produces beautiful, beautiful babies, and I want to try to get a doe out so I can, raise up the doe and keep her, so we can retire little Miss Dory here. Miss Dory is shy. She's a little more shy. She's got beautiful conformation here. I love her conformation. She's just gorgeous, and like I said, she's a really good mama, but she needs a little extra TLC. As you can, I don't know if you can see, she's showing the white of her eye, which shows that she's not very happy with me right now. That is how you know a rabbit is a little bit scared. She is nervous, or I should say nervous. When I know she's due, I kindle all my babies on solid bottom cages. That way we don't have any issues with them building a nest on a wire and losing babies to the cold or the elements. And I take a sheet, and it's a very big cage that she gets, and I cover it up with a dark twin size sheet, so she has complete privacy. The breeder that I got her from advised me that she didn't do well in her barn. It was just too noisy or too much activity going on. So she told me that when I took her on, and so I said, well, let's see if we can make it so that she's a little more relaxed. And sure enough, she was great. So she just was recently bred, actually, earlier today, to a little black Couture's Tate, who is a father of Phantom of the Opera, for anyone who's familiar. He's a famous little buck who has produced a lot of babies, of fabulous show babies. And so we'll see what we can get. I'm hoping to get a blue tort out of it. She only gives me 1 or 2 babies at a time. Sometimes she has a peanut. Her last litter that she had, she only had 1, and it was a peanut, which is a good indication to me that she is coming to the end of her breeding age here, if they only start giving you 1 or 2. But I'm going to try this last time, I think, to try to get something good out of her to keep. And then she'll just retire and hang out, because she's done her job, and she is an excellent mama's once she has those babies, and she's settled down. But I do everything I can to make sure that she has what she needs to be comfortable. I'm going to put her back in. She is not showing me as much white now, but she is still not pleased that I got her out of her cage. I don't handle her a lot out of the cage because she just doesn't like it. So I'm going to go put her back. Okay, so this is Lucifer. Lucifer is a brood buck. Now, he is almost 3 years old, so he's getting to be an old man in rabbit world. And I use him in my a goodie program, because orange also falls into that category. And even for being as old as he is, he's still got some mane going on here. They tend to lose that mane when as they get older. A senior is anything over 6 months, but an old man is he's getting to be what would be considered an old man. So, but he still does his job and gives me some beautiful babies. He's an excellent bloodline. He's from Couture. He's actually sired a lot of beautiful, beautiful babies in the New England area. His ears are very different from what we want today. The breed has been coming a long way in a short period of time. He's woolly, but I like how open they are. They're a little long for me and woolly, but he still outproduces himself. I haven't had him out to handle him for a while, but he still gives me really, really good babies. He remembers. He's like, I remember who I am. And so this is an example of what would be considered a brood buck. I am now a little more picky. I want show bucks in my barn, so any bucks that I get from now on, or that I have purchased recently, they're all show bucks. but he definitely serves a purpose for me, and he's given me beautiful, like I said, agouti babies. And so he's going to stay here. He'll live his life out here. He has more than done his job contributing to some fabulous Lionheads in our region. So he deserves a good retirement, and he's going to have one right here. I almost parred with him, and I was taking pictures because I was trying to be a really, serious, hardcore breeder, which I am a serious breeder, but I'm just not as hardcore as I guess I should be. I'm too much of a softie and sentimental. And then I took his pictures, and I was looking at his pictures, and I was like, oh my goodness, he still looks halfway decent. I said, I can't do this to him, and I felt bad. So back in the barn he went, and so he's going to stay here, but he's still able to produce some fabulous chestnut babies for me. So that's what he's doing here. But this is an example of a brood quality buck as versus a show quality buck, because he just doesn't. He's bigger now. They're much smaller now. Even in the last couple years, his ears are too furry. He doesn't have the mane that he would need to really compete, because he's getting to be an old man. In his younger days, he had a ridiculous huge mane. I have a couple pictures of him, and he was amazing. But we'll put him back, and then I'm going to show you an example of a show quality that's really but not competitive, and I'll show you why. Okay, so I'm going to finish up with Miss Shireen here. Shireen happens to be probably one of my all-time favorite bunnies in the barn. She is just ridiculously gorgeous. She has a mane to die for, and it's so thick and dense, and it just keeps going. But I got her from a show breeder when she was a baby in Rhode Island, and he was very, very, forthcoming with me, saying that he felt that she was going to turn out to be more brood than show quality. But we popped her right on the table at the show I picked her up at. She was already registered, and she actually took best of breed her very first time on the table, and I think she was 11 or 12 weeks old. So, and she went on to win more best of breeds as well. But as she matured, just as he anticipated, because he knows his lines very well, he's an amazing breeder with gorgeous Lionheads and roos in particular, she got long, what we call long in the back. And so she became less competitive against the nice little compact does. And here's an excellent example of when conformation and structure come into play. When she was a junior, she wasn't quite as long as she is now, and she would sit up in that pose, no problem whatsoever. But as she matured, she now has a problem, and she doesn't want to sit up in here, and she even gets nippy with me because she's not comfortable, and I'm trying to make her do it. But it's because, see how long her back is, and she's not going to be comfortable. She doesn't want to do it, and I'm not going to make her. She's going to give me some amazing, beautiful babies. I can't wait. I am trying to get her bred now. She's not been very cooperative, but we'll get there. And I'm going to breed her to my little black couture buck, who's very, very compact. See, she doesn't want to sit in the pose. I'm not going to make her because she's long. She's long, and there's no sense in forcing it. But so she is a non-competitive, what I consider a show quality bunny, who probably could still win at some shows, depending on where we're at. But she is not as competitive as she needs to be now, as she was as a junior. But I'm going to get hopefully some really competitive babies out of her. She is a gorgeous bunny. I like I said, I am in love with her. She's my little queen bunny. Ever since I brought her home, she's just so gorgeous. But again, she grew into the brood that the breeder anticipated that she would, based on his critique of her when she was younger. So I hope that you've seen some different quality levels of bunnies, so you can tell when you're looking at rabbits, and maybe even figure out some of the questions to ask. If you're interested in breeding, I cannot encourage you more than to join the North American Lionhead Rabbit Club. This book right here alone is worth the I think it's $15 maybe, to join the club. And this guidebook, I have to say, is one of the most comprehensive guidebooks of any breed that I have been affiliated with. I have guidebooks from several other breeds that I raise here at Whispering Pines, and none of them has been as comprehensive and given as much information. It's like a Bible that you can refer to for basically any question that you could possibly have. It goes from the history, it talks about how the standard got created, it talks about every single aspect of what you need to look for, from the mane to the fur and the wool differentiations, understanding the break or the separation that comes right here, that's so important when you're showing them, understanding how to show them and what the judges are looking for. There's so many pictures in here so that you have visuals to see how to pose, what a correct pose looks like versus an incorrect pose, what you need to be looking for, understanding all the different varieties and the genetics behind them. And it's amazing. I can't say enough. For $15, you can basically have all the answers to any question that you could possibly have regarding Lionheads. So if you want to learn more or are interested in breeding, then I would definitely say that is the way to go. I hope that you learned something. This again is for new people. Every breeder has their opinion. I'm sure there's breeders, they may think I have horrible looking rabbits, and that's okay. We all have our opinions, and that's perfectly okay. But there are new people who still are getting a lot of erroneous information, don't know where to go to get the correct information. Because social media is just so prevalent, and people will post on social media and they post very wrong information a lot. So I'm hoping that this helps. Again, this is Tricia at Whispering Pines. I'm up in Maine. We had a nice sunny day today, so I thought I'd get out here and do this. Is something I've been wanting to do for a while. So if you have any questions, you can find me on Facebook at Whispering Pines Micro Farm. And I am happy to answer any questions and point you in the direction if I don't know the answer. The LionHeads.us is the official website for the North American Lionhead Rabbit Club, and there is volumes of information on there just to get started. If you don't want to join and get that guidebook yet, that's a good place to start. So everyone have a safe rest of the winter. The new year starts tomorrow, and show season starts in 3 weeks, so I'm very excited about that. And I will post back how that goes, our first show of the year. And I will talk to everybody soon again, I'm sure. All right, bye-bye.